If you're ready to embrace saving, but you are not ready to give up your latte habit, this video could be for you. Usually when people talk about saving, it is closely associated with cutting back. So you'll hear things like, don't order the sides at restaurants, skip your takeaway coffee, cut out your subscriptions. So some of these options are really useful and they might work for you. But if you are anything like me, I am a millennial. I really love a flat white, and I also can't be bothered to go without it for the sake of £3 a week. I'm excited to tell you that there are actually other ways that you can save money in the long run without having to sacrifice these relatively small luxuries. So in this video, I'm going to tell you about 5 ways that you can save money over the long run with very little effort on your part. Let's dive in. First things first. This one is going to sound obvious. Look after the things that you already own, because when you look after things, they last longer, which means that you don't have to spend money buying new ones. So take my car, for example. I have a very uninteresting car, but I bought it in cash, and every year I spend a significant amount of money on services, on the MOT, and on tax and insurance. So there is a minimum legal requirement that all cars have to go through in the UK to make sure that the car is roadworthy. But when I take my car in for this service, I always opt for the full Monty. Now, this kind of maintenance of the vehicle cost me about £1,000 a year. So a while ago, I was wondering whether this is actually worth the money. And I did a bunch of maths. I spoke to the mechanic. Given my car's age, it's actually in pretty great condition. Had I not been looking after this car, it's very possible that this little car would be on its last legs and I would be forced to cough up a whole bunch of money for a newer car. So once again, looking after the things that you already own is a really great way to save money in the long run. Tip number 2, invest in quality stuff. When your goal is to save as much money as possible, the pull can often be to cheap out on stuff. You buy the cheapest thing possible in order to part with the least amount of cash possible. But this frequently backfires because A, the thing that you've bought doesn't work properly in the first place, or B, it breaks really soon after you buy it. And the upshot of both of these things is that you may have only spent a small amount on the initial item, but because you need to replace it, you have to spend more and more money. So while it might seem counterintuitive, provided that you've done your research and considered the context of the item, sometimes it can really pay over the long term to just spend a bunch of money up front, know that you're buying quality and that you won't have to waste your time, energy, and more money replacing it. Number 3, embrace repairing stuff. So I have a fun anecdote here. This relies on you buying good quality stuff in the first place, so it leads on nicely from point 2. But I bought a pair of boots. They're really great quality leather boots with a furry bit on the inside, so they're super warm. And the cool thing is I've had these boots for 11 years. And the cooler thing is that I have been on the brink of retiring them from my wardrobe no fewer than 3 times. And I think, oh, okay, this is the last year that I'm gonna use these. And then I think I'll just give them one more go. I resole the bottom and they see me through another winter. If I hadn't bothered to fix them, I would have had to buy a new pair of boots. The takeaway is repair the stuff that you already own rather than automatically buying new stuff. Quick interlude, just to say, if you are enjoying this video, it would be so helpful if you would subscribe to my channel. Tip number 4, look after your health. This one sounds super boring, but I'm very passionate about it because, as they say, health is wealth, people. Because the fact is that preventable ill health will impact your life, not just your finances, but the quality of your life overall. So if you are unwell at any stage, that will impact your ability to go for the jobs that you really want to go for, or that might allow you to earn more money because maybe you're forced to work part-time. Or it could mean that you aren't able to run a business. You're not able to follow your entrepreneurial dreams because your productivity levels are really unpredictable. Or if you live in a country where there is not great public health services, you might actually have to pay for your health care. And then perhaps the worst thing of all is if you manage to keep yourself reasonably healthy throughout your whole life and then are not well enough to enjoy the wealth that you've built up over the course of your life, I mean, what's the point? So really look after your health. And last but not least, tip number 5, stop wasting food. This one is probably the most similar to what you'll hear in traditional money saving tips. The point is that you probably have fresh produce or leftovers that are languishing away at the back of your fridge, and every time food goes uneaten, it is literally your cash going down the drain, especially given the cost of living at the moment. I have a very unsexy project to try and decrease my food waste. What I started out doing was just keeping an eye on things, making sure that there wasn't a head of broccoli at the back of the fridge going off. And if I spotted it was on the brink, I immediately cooked it, and then I could use it for lunches or stick it in the freezer. Subsequently, what I have started doing is the biggest life hack ever, and that is meal planning, which is basically plotting out everything I'm going to eat for the week, shopping for ingredients that are directly corresponding with the food that I want to eat. So the nice thing about this is that I am only shopping for food that I know is going to find home in a recipe. And that's a wrap on 5 ways to save money over the long term without giving up your latte. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, it would be great if you could comment, like, subscribe, do all the things. I'd really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.